All right, this one's for the happy home buyer and the happy home seller. And the question is, what is escrow? And we're going to answer that question right now. All right, so what is escrow? Escrow is when we come to an agreement. We have the residential purchase agreement and joint escrow instructions, and any addendums and amendments that happen before it, all the negotiation and everything goes back and forth, counteroffer and everything, we turn it over to the escrow officer. The escrow officer is a neutral third party, and usually here in Central California, the escrow officer is also the title company runs through the same organization. So they start working on title. They make sure that all the money that needed to be deposited is deposited, and they'll take your earnest money deposit. They will cash it and hold it in escrow for the process to go through, and then they'll start working on title. Starts making sure that they have a clean title. All liens are taken care of. Everything is taken care of. The seller will have to turn over information on who has their financing, so they'll be able to get the payoff demand and everything, and get that all taken care of. That's their job. So when your real estate agent says we've opened escrow or we're in escrow, that's what that means. Is everything's turned over to the escrow companies. It's the escrow company's job to make sure all terms of the contract are honored before the sale closes. Okay. They give you, the buyer, the seller, the contract or the agreement and the escrow instructions, give them the information on what they need to do. Now, know this: there are no oral agreements in real estate. If it's if it's agreed to orally, then it's written down and both parties sign it. So there's no confusion. All the instructions that go to the escrow officer are written down and signed. If there's, even after the escrow instructions go to the escrow officer, if there's changes, it's written down and signed by everybody. So there'll be no surprises or anything like that. The purpose of the escrow is so that we can all deal with each other with less risk. It's just like that. There's no nobody making side agreements or anything like that. The escrow company is the custodian of the funds and the documents. They're the clearinghouse for the payments of all demands, and they're an agency to perform the clerical details for the settlement of the accounts between the parties. So they basically take care of everything. The typical escrow transaction is they open the order for title work, the demands for satisfaction of liens, make sure all instructions are fulfilled. They they make sure the natural hazard disclosure was ordered, because it's required in most California real estate, well, in all California real estate, basically, a couple exceptions. And then make sure it was also paid for. And usually that'll be paid for in escrow. Before it closes, it'll come out as part of the final closing disclosure. Make sure the home warranty is paid for by the person who committed to pay for it. Sometimes it's the buyer, sometimes it's the seller. Sometimes it's split between the two. They want to make sure all the deposits are paid and make sure the title insurance policy is issued. So that's what they do. They make sure everything that we all agree to, the both brokers, both the buyer and the seller, is taken care of. And when it closes on that day, there's no more obligation from the buyer to the seller or the seller to the buyer, unless it's written down, say like on a rent back or something like that. So that's what they do. I hope that clears it up for you. And we'll go on to the next one. Have a great day. Bye.